PanelsOnPages.com, and this is another episode of the Toy Box. Last episode, we talked about the Power Rangers and the Dino Zords, the phenomenon that was to come out of it. And we looked at the Megazord and the Dragonzord and Titanus, and how awesome they looked and how weird the stickers were and all that kind of crap. But this week we're going to put them together, mash them together, make them do stuff. You know, make them do stuff with their butts. Not really. Although there's some butt-related things that happen. We'll look at those in a minute. But really, it's just an example of awesome design. And these toys are 20 years old, and they don't look it, man. Like, their design is really, really solid, and they age really well. So much in fact that, you know, they're talking about the Legacy editions that are coming out now, the Legacy Megazord and Dragonzord. Nice to have the die cast. The Legacy Megazord is slick. It looks really nice, man, but you can't mess with the classic. And so we'll see how the Dragonzord shakes up and how they compare to the originals, man. But it's a tough act to follow. It's some solid toy action from 1994. Nonsense, ridiculous. Makes you feel old. Okay, the kids, you're going to get old one day. Ask your parents if you don't believe me. So without further ado, let's look at the combinations from the various Power Zords, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers collection. Alright, so here we go. We checked out the main, core Zords last week. I mean, here we have, limp-wristed Dragonzord. Like, he's old. Let him have this, okay. Titanus and the Deluxe Megazord. If you missed the first episode, click the links down below the video here, and you'll find a link to the first episode. And so what we're going to do, we're going to show the various ways in which these guys combine together. So, be good stuff. Alright, first up is what I believe they refer to in the show as Dragonzord Battle Mode, which is a weird name because the thing shoots missiles out of its fingers and, has a drill on his ass. I mean, it's kind of always in battle mode. But this is the Megazord Battle Mode. And it's a mode that you really didn't see a whole lot on the show, but I love it because it has a really awesome design that I can't get enough of. Alright, so you just pop off dude's tail, and then basically this whole sucker just splits right down the middle, and the guts fall out. Boom. Say bye-bye to your gut. So what you're left is this weird, floppy Dragonzordy mess. So, that's okay. It all works out perfectly. Put them back together. And this is the part that I absolutely friggin' love. Like, all these years later, I still love this. The hands go up, like this, and then the shoulders come apart to the sides, and they join at the front to give you that awesome, the Green Ranger symbol. It's basically the same element as this power coin and all that. I love that so much. It's a great look. So, that works like that. Throw the feet up, and they're going to expose the same kind of nubs that are on the bottom of the Tyrannosaurus' legs. And so that's, of course, where we're going to plug in our feet. Exactly the same as doing the Megazord. Just slide them on in there. Alright, coming together quite nicely. And then again, this is really where you can see, where those Repro Labels stickers really pay off, because this thing looked pretty damn cheesy with those big lightning bolts on it. He wears the Mastodon jacket, just like the Tyrannosaurus does. Knot it on the back, and click it in. Awesome, very cool. And then the last little bit is to bring down his super cool, groovy battle mode face. Just dropping him out down. Push the crown back, and it kind of pushes it forward. And then you have this big visored battle mode face. Cool. Rad. Alright. So that is pretty friggin' sweet looking. Love it. Awesome. Okay. So, but what to do for a weapon? He has no offensive capabilities. You can look as badass as you want. What good is it without a weapon? Enter this dude right here. This guy right here came packaged with the Dragonzord, and it's used as the basis for his weapon. So the whole unit here, which you can see again, the squishy, make that guys happen. It just slides right on here, like that. And then the tail sticks right in the top. And so you have this gigantic friggin' drill staff thing that is, if you look, just as hell is taller than the figure itself. And I don't know about you, but I think that is pretty damn awesome. there's a little handle piece that goes in right somewhere in there. There's that thing right there, a little nub there, holds this little handle piece that kind of is S-shaped, and you can use it to put it, curl the S one end and then up into the hand for the figure to hold it. But you really don't need it, because honestly, if you're just kind of sitting in front of it, it looks just fine, just like that. You can't even tell he's not holding the thing. So, kind of love this. This is awesome. I believe he's actually a bit bigger in this configuration than he is in the regular Megazord mode. That's because of how much bigger the core torso unit is, having the big Dragonzord instead of the little T-Rex Zord. So, really cool, really big. Maybe the arms look a little bit small because of how much bigger the torso is. I don't know. I really don't care. I think it just looks awesome, and especially with these Repro Label stickers. In case you're wondering, we mentioned last week that the Titanic stickers were like $50 by themselves. The Dragonzord set, I believe, were only like $18, which, if you still have a Dragonzord, you really need to go to Repro Label. We'll put the link down there too. You need to go to PanelsOnPages.com and buy the set, because again, all this stuff here, the cool metallic green and the gold finish here, all this stuff, like, stock out the box, it's goofy looking lightning bolts. It sucks. So, that's that. There's a couple more formations we'll look at in a minute, and then we'll look at the big guy, the Ultra Zord, when that's done. Okay, and now as a perfect testament to the fact that they were just throwing random words together, what we're going to do next is, I believe, what they call the Mega Dragonzord. Not the thing that was a Dragonzord with parts attached to it. This is the Mega Dragonzord. Go friggin' figure. So basically, prep the Megazord. All you gotta do, pull the crown bits back, and throw down the shoulder pads, like that. And the rest of it is all this guy here. So you take the Dragonzord, you spread him apart, put his hands, shoulders back where they originally belong, throw the warrior face up, and then he's got these two little clippies that come down like this. And he's almost ready to go. Now you can either throw it on now, or just for the sake of illustrating how nuts this is, I'm going to go ahead and do this part here. You take the weapon stuff, pull them apart, and then the tail, I don't really recall which side is supposed to go which. The tail goes on the bottom of one foot. Again, same where you put the feet, and then you take the chest part and turn it upside down, and then it pegs onto the other foot. Well, so you have this thing here, this gigantic, huge string of parts here that went all together. You put out the clips, and you sort of set it down right on top of the Megazord. Put those clips right on the shoulders, and bam! That is the Mega Dragonzord mode. All this crazy nonsense hanging off of him. And now, only thing left to do now, take this dude, slap him in Titanus, and see the biggest, baddest Zord of our early childhoods, the Ultra Zord. Alright, now it's time for the big guns. This is the Ultra Zord. Now, there's a little more to it than just taking the Mega Dragonzord, throwing him on the top of Titanus. It's not too far off the mark, but it's not quite accurate. So first what I'm going to do is take off this dude here and pull off his claws. You always kind of forget about the claws, because it's not something you notice immediately when looking at it like on the show or whatever. But take those off, and then open the door, toss down these little wheels pop out, kind of give them a little stability, and throw up the neck a little bit. And that's the gist of what you do with this dude. Then you take the Dragonzord's middle bits, slide them right there, like that. That locks into place just absolutely beautifully. Take the tail, and then it slides right into where the original the Titanus' actual tail goes, I should say. Slip it in. So he's got this weird little tiny dinky tail, which, when you look at it by itself is kind of silly, but you're never looking at it from the back. If you see Titanus from the back, it's because he's already friggin' ran over you, okay? So don't worry about it. You're fine. You go like that up there. Oh, look, just god damn it. Just look at that. Okay. Alright, so Megazord. He goes in there, just like that. So we can get this whole beast in the shot here. because it is a little bit large. And there's only so much space I can put this thing. The front bit that was on Titanus' chest slips right onto the Megazord. And then the claws, straighten them out like that, and they clip right onto the gauntlets. And that, kids, is the Ultra Zord. And now again, just for the sake of comparison, there's my Optimus Prime Slurpee Cup. Remember from last time. And there it is. That is how unbelievably big this thing is. It's massive. It's big and it's deep and it's wide and it's tall and just it's unbelievable. It is amazing. Like I lost my mind when I first saw it, and my kid, who was 4 at the time, lost hers equally as much, some 20 some odd years later. So it's awesome. And of course, what good would it be if it didn't friggin' roll? It rolls. C battery, son. That's how it works. So that is the first series of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Zords. They are awesome. Gotta love them. The only complaint I had about this, as a kid, I probably wouldn't have given half a rat's ass. But as an adult, the only thing that bugs me is that in this configuration, and a lot of them honestly, there's no place for this guy. There's really nowhere for the Mastodon shield to go, and really the sword either. He didn't use it as the weapon in the show because that's big ass guns are for. But you can kind of slip the sword in there if you want to, but that's kind of silly, and there's nowhere on the back of this thing for either of these things to store. So sometimes if I have them out, I just kind of slip it down there, and you don't really notice it from a distance. But it would be kind of nice if there was some little clip or something for it to go on. But that's it, man. Awesome. I mean, if you don't have this now, it'll set you back a fortune. Like, I think the cheapest I ever saw this set altogether was something like $300, which is a lot. But I mean, if you missed out on it as a kid, and if you come into some money, if you got a uncle you don't know about that kicks a bucket or something to that effect, or you may even find that at a garage sale or something like that. Like, I can't stress it enough. I love that I have this in my collection. It's one of my favorite pieces. It's one of my prized toy possessions. It's very, very cool. I hope you enjoyed this look back. Alright, last thing we'll look at before we shut this guy down is this dude. This is the Megazord, I'm going to air quote him. He's the non-deluxe version, and this guy existed purely so parents could accidentally disappoint their kids. If you want to know what he does, not a whole hell of a lot. You hit this button here, and its fists fly off, but who cares? And for some reason, the legs come off. Although I can't for the life of me imagine why, because they don't even turn fully into their Zord mode. You just have this weird disembodied leg thing. And the reason this thing sucks is not because it looks bad, which, it doesn't look great, although it does have the chrome on the chest piece, which the big one doesn't have, but it combines with nothing at all, and that's why it was so devastating for kids, myself included, when you got this guy on Christmas morning and not the other guy that actually does stuff, because this works with nothing else. Not only does it not come apart, but it doesn't combine with anything. You can't put these things on the Dragonzord. You can't put the Dragonzord on top of it. I mean, it's useless. Boo and shame on you, Bandai, for making this thing. Boo. Hiss. Ugh. It's awful. Ugh. And that's it. Those are the guys, man. Those are the original Zords. The toys of my childhood. The holy grail of my childhood, actually. I didn't get my Megazord, as I mentioned, until I was a grown-ass man. It's recent. I had the little crappy one. I had the one that didn't combine with shit. And I just recently got the new one, thanks to the Population Zone Dan Mahoney. He hooked me up because he's a sweetheart guy, is why he hooked me up. But it filled a hole in my collection that I've been missing for most of my life at that point. So big shout out to Mahoney for making that happen. And that's it. I hope you dig it, man. Let me know, what were your favorite toys growing up, man? Leave the comments on the video or on the articles at PanelsOnPages.com. And you can also subscribe to us on iTunes, subscribe to us on the YouTube, subscribe to the RSS on the website. You can subscribe to us anywhere. We're all over the place. We're all over their Twitters and the Facebooks. And hell, we're even on Google+. I think we're on Pinterest. Not that I know how the hell to use it, but we're on Pinterest. Look us up, man. So, yeah, come back next week, in our next episode, and we're going to look at, I don't know what we're looking at, maybe we'll go forward in time, bring a little more current with the Power Ranger stuff. Why not? We're going to have a little theme of new school and old school. So we'll look at some of the more recent Power Ranger stuff, and to get a little bit into why the hell I have that coming up next week. So thanks a lot. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time on the Toy Box.